So before we commence our session for today, let us humbly offer our reverence to the divine. Mr. Hussain, can you please lead the prayer?
For all that knowledge, please do the sign of the cross. In the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen. Our most gracious and heavenly Father, we praise and thank you for this day. Watch over us as we go about our works and studies. Fill our minds with knowledge and help us understand the topic that we are going to tackle today. Bless us, Father, with your wisdom as we begin our class. Help us in every way so that we may become children you want us to be. Amen. Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
So, please take a moment to gather and debris beneath your chairs, and after that, you may now take your seat. So, I would like to inquire about your welfare today. How are you feeling? Mr. Sakuro, how are you feeling for today?
I'm fine, thank you.
How about you, Ms. Timbahan?
I'm fine, sir.
Mr. Flores?
I'm fine as well, sir.
And Mr. Hussain?
I'm fine, sir.
So it is reassuring to know, and I'm glad to know that you are all doing fine for today. So before we commence our session today, let's start with the checking of attendance. Ajova Nancy,
Present.
Flores Polmax,
Present, sir.
Hussain,
Present, sir.
Limpahan,
Present po.
Sakurum.
Present, sir.
So very good. You are all present for today, and for that I will give you 5 points. Every one of you will get 5 points since you are all present. So before we delve into our new lesson for today, let's reaffirm our commitment to our established rules. So in order for us to uphold our standards of behavior in this classroom, I want you all to be bright. So in order for us to be bright, Miss Limpahan, can you please read the first rule?
Be respectful to everyone.
Very good. So be respectful to everyone. If you want to be respected, then respect others because respect begets respect. Ms. Sakuro, can you please read the second rule?
Raise your hand before speaking.
Thank you so much, Ms. Sakuro. So if you want to clarify something or ask question, I want you to raise your hand first before speaking. So Mr. Flores, can you please read the third rule?
I is for inquire and explore new ideas.
So since this is a student-centered approach, as a student, you really need to inquire and explore new ideas. So Mr. Hussain, can you please read the fourth rule?
Give your best effort in all tasks.
So it is expected to you that you really need to give your best effort upon accomplishing our lesson for today. So Miss Limpahan, can you please read the fifth rule?
Handle materials and equipment with care.
So I have a materials that I have prepared. So it is really important that you need to handle it with care. So and Miss Sakuro, can you please read the last rule?
Be time management. Use your time wisely during class activities.
Thank you, Miss Sakuro. So it is really also a must that you need to observe your time management because later I will be discussing to you or introducing to you our rubrics in our activity. So that is our classroom rules. So it's really important to observe the classroom rules. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you so much. Now let's proceed to our first activity. So our first activity is to review or recall our previous topics. So this is very important because I want to know if you really understood our previous topic so that you will also be able to understand our topic for today. So our activity for today is all about fundamental vectors concepts such as vector length, unit vector, and the angle between vectors. So let's start our activity by reading the instructions. So our activity is all about back to basic revisiting vectors. Mr. Hussain, can you please read our instruction?
Please grab a pen and paper to jot down and solve your answers. Once you finish writing or solving your answers, hold up your paper and wait for your name to be called.
So, do you already have your pen and paper?
Yes, sir.
That's very good. So, once that you have finished your solution or writing your answer, kindly kindly raise your hand or kindly raise your paper and wait to be called. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So for our first question is, what is the formula of the length or the magnitude of the vector x is equivalent to x comma y? Once you have finished, don't forget to raise your hand. Are you done?
Yes, sir.
How about you, Mr. Flores?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Hossain, can you please state your answer?
So the answer for that question is the length or magnitude of x equal to square root of x squared plus y squared.
Okay, very good. The answer is the length of the magnitude is equivalent to the square root of x squared plus y squared. For our next question, what is the formula of the angle between two vectors? Okay, Miss Limbahan, can you please state your answer?
Cos theta is equal to x times y over the length or the magnitude of x times the length or the magnitude of y.
Thank you so much. So, for the next question is, so this is the answer. Find the angle between these two given vectors. Okay, since Mr. Flores is done, can you please write your solutions on the board? So here is the whiteboard marker. Yes.
Is it okay if I wait here or here, sir?
You can write anywhere, but it is
Which is likely visible.
yes. Okay. Your answer is correct. Can we please give a round of applause for Paul Max Flores? So I won't be explaining it anymore, okay? So for our next question, we have, what is the formula of the unit vector whose length is 1? Once that you are done answering, you may now raise your hand. Okay, Ms. Tintahan, what is your answer?
So the formula of the unit vector whose length is 1 is unit vector is equals to 1 over the length of the magnitude of x times x.
Okay, that's very good. Thank you, Ms. Tintahan. And for our last question is, find the unit vector given the vector x is equivalent to 3, 4. Okay, Mr. Hussain, what is your answer?
3 over 5 and 4 over 5.
Okay, very good. So, I'm so happy that you have really understood our previous topic because it is really measurable here in our review or recall activities since you got all the questions correctly. So now let's proceed to our motivation. So our motivation will help you activate in our lesson proper since I know that it seems like you are all sleepy. So in our motivation, it is entitled as Mathematical Melodies, the Cabbage Equation Game. Ms. Sakura, will you just read the instruction?
Instruction: in this activity, we're going to play a game called the Cabbage Game. The goal is to have fun while learning. When the music starts, you'll pass the cabbage around the circle. It's like a hot potato but with a cabbage. Remember, keep passing it quickly. When the music stops, whoever is holding the cabbage will have a special task. They need to peel off a layer of the cabbage and then an answer question that I'll ask them. Make sure to listen carefully to the question and answer to the best of your ability.
So I've prepared a cabbage here. So this is just assume that this is a cabbage. So the instruction is you need to pass this cabbage when the music is still on. If the music stops, then this cabbage is in you. So you need to fill off one paper and answer the question that is indicated here in the paper. Is that understood?
Yes.
So before we proceed in our activity, I want you to set aside your chairs, please, and form a circle. So I want you to form a circle in the center. So remember that once the music stops, you need to fill off one paper and answer the question that is indicated in the paper. So let's start in 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, stop. Okay, Mr. Hussain, can you please fill off one paper? And read the question first.
I am a straight line that intersects another at a right angle, creating a symmetry and precision in the geometric realm. I am embodying the harmony of orthogonality and the balance of opposite forces. What am I?
So, what do you think is the
answer is perpendicular line.
Okay, perpendicular is the correct answer. Let's give him a round of applause. Okay, next question. Next. Okay, Mr. Torres, can you please fill up one paper?
I am the steadfast path that runs alongside another, never intersecting, yet maintaining a constant and equal distance, symbolizing consistency, synchrony, and harmony in the realm of geometry. What am I? Parallel lines?
Let's see if parallel lines is the answer. So the answer is parallel lines are parallel. That's correct. Okay, please Nakurong will answer the question. Fill up one paper.
I am the journey of transformation, the dynamic sequence of steps leading to growth and achievement. With each phase, I unfold new insights, challenges, and opportunities embodying progress, adaptability, and evolution in the realm of endeavor. What am I?
So what are you? What is the answer?
Processor.
Process? Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
Okay, let's see if the answer is process. Very good. Okay, next. For the last question. Okay, Mr. Flores. So Mr. Torres will read the question and Ms. Timpan will answer the question.
Okay.
Yes. I am the directed magnitude representing both magnitude and direction, navigating through space with purpose and precision. In every coordinate, I define movement, transformation, and force, embodying the dynamic essence of directionality and magnitude in the realm of mathematics and physics. What am I?
So what is the answer, Ms. Timpan?
I think they're vectors.
Vectors. So let's see if vectors is the answer. So very good. So that's very good of you, no? So please return your seats and take a seat. Thank you so much for participating. Okay, since you all participated in our activity, in our review recall and motivational activity, all of you will get 10 points. So, based on our activity, what do you think is our topic for today? So, Mr. Hussain, what do you think is our topic for today? Just, based on our activity, our motivational activity.
As what I, based on from the activity, I think the topic for today and the circuit is the right answer. So I think there's involvement of parallel, perpendicular, and vectors.
Okay, very good. That's good. There's really a connection about that. How about you, Miss Sakuro? What do you think is our topic for today?
I think the topic for today is all about the vector.
All about the vectors. That's very good. How about you, Mr. Flores?
For me, sir, it is also the same about unit vectors, sir.
Okay, very good. And how about you, Miss Limpahan?
Same as well sila.
Okay,
It's related to vectors.
thank you. So thank you to all of you. So before we proceed to our topic, or before I will introduce to you about our topic, I want you to remember that once that you participate in our activity, or once that you answer my questions, or just be participative, every participation will give you 5 points. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to earn points, please be participative. So now, since we are done to our motivational activity, we will be proceeding to our next activity. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. In that case, I will group you into 3 groups since you are composed of 30 groups. So you will be having 10 members per group. So I want you to count here.
1, 2,
3.
1,
3.
So, the first group will be situated here, group 2 there, and group 3 here. So now, go to your respective groups. So before we proceed to our activity, let me introduce to you first our incentive chart. So I have prepared an incentive chart here. So it is called as BCB's Unlocking Street Awards. So once that you have got a correct answer, you will be earning a different B's. So one correct answer will be equivalent to 1 B. Is that understood?
Yes.
So in order for you to To earn peace, please be participative and please answer correct answer in our activity. So, I want Mr. Flores to read the activity instruction.
In this activity, you will be investigating the relationships between vectors. Your task is to carefully analyze each pair of vectors provided and determine whether they are orthogonal or perpendicular, parallel, or neither. You will be divided into 3 groups. To respond, I'll assign you flags: baby B, mother B, and grandma B. Place the baby B flag if the vectors are perpendicular, the mother B flag if they are parallel, and the grandma B flag if they are neither parallel nor perpendicular.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Flores. So, I have prepared a different kinds of bees. So, we have a baby bee, mother bee, and grandma bee. So, each group, you will be having a 3 different bees. So, I want Ms. Sakuram to distribute this in 3 groups. So, make sure that every group has a different kinds of bees. So, do you understand the instruction?
Yes, sir.
So, if it is perpendicular, what kind of bee that you will be raising?
Baby
Baby B.
Baby bee? Baby bee. So, let me show, please show to us the baby bee. Okay, that is the baby bee. How about if it is parallel?
Mother bee.
Can you please raise it, the mother bee? Okay, that's good. How about if it is neither?
Grandma bee.
So that is good. So, are you ready for our activity?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, you will raise the different bees or your answer once the 30 seconds is done. So I will be setting a timer. So for our first activity, for our first problem, so we need to determine if the following vector is perpendicular, parallel, or neither. So raise your hand if you want to answer. Or raise the bees if you want to answer. Okay, since you all got the correct answer, which is perpendicular, so you are raising BBBs. So all of you will get one bees per group. So very good class. So for our second problem, what do you think is the answer? Raise your bees if you want to answer. Okay, since the answer is parallel, you are raising one, mother bees. So all of you got the correct answer. Very good class. So how about number 3? What do you think is the answer? The answer is neither, and it is equivalent to grandma B. Okay, very good. All of you got the correct answer. That's good, class. I wonder if how did you know the answer? How about for question number 4? What do you think is the answer? Okay, the answer is parallel.
Mother B.
Mother B is the correct answer. So only the group number 2 and 3 got the correct answer. So group 1 is wrong.
Yes.
And group 3. How about for our last number? For number 5, what do you think is the answer? So the answer is perpendicular. And all of you got the correct answer. So all of you will earn B. So for our first activity, the group 1 earned 4 Bs The group 2 earned 5 Bs and the group 3 earned 5 Bs. So that is a very good class. So now, let's proceed to our analyzation. So, my first question is, as a group, is that, how did you come up with your answers? So, Mr. Hussain, how did you come up with your answer?
So based on my observation, so I come up the problem if it is orthogonal or perpendicular if the value in the first example 3 and 5, then in the B is become 5 and 3. So from the Y in the A is become the X in the B, or in the X in the B, the Y in the A become the X and the X in the A is becoming the Y in the B, but it become negative, and then the Y in the A become the X in the B.
Okay.
And the parallel naman is divisible by 12 for 8, 12 for 3, then 9, 3, 6, 9, like that one po.
Okay, how about the group 1? How did you come up with your answer? Let's have Ms. Limpahan. How did you know that it is perpendicular, parallel, or neither?
Yes, as the problem is flash. Yes. We base our answer to the questions there.
So, how did you know that the first question is perpendicular? Torres.
Same lang sa, I have the same answer as the group 2, but for the parallel lines, I observed that the values of A is same with the values of B, but only with the thrice the value. So, for example, we have the X value as 4. So if you multiply that by 3, it becomes 12. Then for Y value of 8, if you multiply that by 3, then it becomes 9.
Okay, thank you for your question. All of you got a point on how did we come up with the question number 1, which is perpendicular. So as you can see here, what can you observe about our vectors? 3, 5, and 5, negative 3. They are just a what?
They're interchange.
Interchange, what is the term? It starts with the letter R. Reciprocal. So, if the vectors are reciprocal, therefore, our vectors is perpendicular. So, let's say for example, let's draw a Cartesian plane. So, let's assume that this is the y-axis and this is the x-axis. Or this is the A, or this is the vector A and this is the vector B. So, we have 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is negative, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I want Ms. Limpahan to plot the vector A in our Cartesian plane. Only the vector A. Just that. And I want Mr. Torres to plot the vector B. Thank you for that. So, if we are going to connect this vector in our origin and this vector in our origin, that will form a what? A perpendicular. So that is the that is the notion about perpendicularity. Once the two vectors are reciprocal, then therefore it is a perpendicular. So can you please, Ms. Sakulong, please give examples about perpendicular? Since it is about reciprocal. So what if our vector A is equivalent to, so what if our vector A is equivalent to 1, 2? What do you think is our vector B for us to form a perpendicular? 2
and negative 1, sir.
2 and negative 1. So very good. Can you please plot our vectors in our rotation A? Let's see if it is really perpendicular. So if we are going to connect this in our region, that will form a perpendicular. So if we are going to say perpendicular, how many degrees do we have?
90.
90 degrees, so that is good. So that is the notion about the perpendicular. So if we are going to talk about perpendicular, it should be reciprocal. The vectors should be reciprocal with each other. So that is the notion about perpendicular. Now, how do we know if it is parallel? Anyone? What can you observe? Okay, Mr. Hussain.
Based on the definition of parallel, so when you say parallel, it is two lines but they don't intersect with each other.
Okay, so Mr. Torres, what can you observe in our vectors?
So, as I said earlier, that the values of vector A is just tripled within the vector B.
Okay, so that is good. So as you can see, they are just equal, right? So let's say if this is the measurement of our A, which is we have AY and AX. So we will be using this formula. And we have the measurement of our B, which is we also have AY and our AX. So what is the value of our AY?
3.
3. So that is 3. How about our AX? 4. In our vector B, what is the value of our A sub Y? 9. Our A sub X? 12. So is this divisible?
Yes.
By what?
3.
3. So let's divide this both sides by 3. 9 divided by 3? 3. 12 divided by 3? 4. So what can you observe?
They are equal.
They are equal. If the vectors are equal, then definitely they are parallel. So that is the notion about the parallel. So I want Ms. Limpahan to answer my question. So if we have the vector of A, 1/3, what number, 1/3, sorry for that. What do you think is the vector B in order for us to form a parallel?
Sir.
Okay, Ms. Limpahan.
2 and 3.
2 and 3?
8 lang. 2 and 6.
2 and 6. 2 and 6. So let's see. So if we have the vector of 1 and 3, let's try if this is parallel. So we have the formula, which is AY AX. So let's be utilizing this formula. So what is the formula of our a sub y?
3.
3. What is the formula of our a sub x? 1. How about our b sub y?
6.
6. And our b sub x?
2.
So is this divisible?
Yes.
By what number?
2.
2. So let's divide both sides by 2. 6 divided by 2?
3.
3. And 2 divided by 2? 1. So 3 divided by 1 is equivalent to 3. And 3 divided by 1 is equivalent to 3. Are they the same?
Yes, sir.
So that is the notion about the parallel. So the vector should be the same. So is that understood?
Yes,
So
sir.
if they are not the same and if they are not parallel or if they are not reciprocal, then therefore that is neither parallel or perpendicular. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good. So now, let's proceed to our lesson. So now, let's proceed to our next question. How did you feel about the activity? Okay, Mr. Hussein.
For me, it's fun, but very challenging for me because I don't know really the topic, but I only observed how the questions and the show.
Okay, thank you so much. How about you, Ms. Limpahan?
So the difficulty of the our topic is the
Okay.
activity.
So I hope that I will be able to make it in more easier way. How about you, Mr. Torres? How do you feel about the activity?
For me, the activity triggers your critical thinking skills and unlocks your keen observation for you to be able to answer the question.
Okay, thank you so much. So I'm very glad that you are all honest with regard to your feelings about our activity. So based on our activity, based on our motivational activity, down to activity to our another activity, what do you think is our topic for today? Let's have Ms. Limpahan.
I think our topic for today is related also to the perpendicular and the parallel line.
Okay, about perpendicular and parallel lines. So thank you for that, Ms. Limpahan. How about you, Mr. Hussain? What do you think is our topic for today?
So I think our topic for the day, I'm not sure if it is a real topic, so I think it is related to parallel, perpendicular, and vectors.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Hussain. How about you, Mr. Torres? What do you think is our topic today based on our motivational and our activity?
So, with regards to our topic for today, I think it's all about the unit vector, but specifically it happens about the perpendicular, the parallel, and major type of line or how you plot into the partition.
Okay, thank you so much. All of you has a point. So, our topic for today really involves, you are really connected because it involves our perpendicular, parallel, or middle, or so on and so forth. So, our topic for today is specifically about the orthonormal basis, the Gram-Schmidt process. So, are you familiar with the topic? So, I will be introducing you about that, but before that, let's first discuss about orthogonality. What do you think is orthogonality? Do you have any idea about that? No, sir. So before we proceed to our lesson proper, let me introduce to you first our learning outcomes. I want Ms. Sakulon to read our learning outcomes.
At the end of the lesson, the students are expected to do the following with 75% accuracy. A. Determine whether any given two vectors are parallel, orthogonal, or neither. And B. Determine whether a given set of vectors are orthogonal, orthonormal, or neither.
So, upon our lesson proper, you are expected to do the following, which is you are going to determine whether the set of vectors are parallel, neither, perpendicular or it is orthonormal. So now, let's proceed to our lesson proper. Miss Limpahan, can you please read?
First, recall or remember the definition of that product. Definition: take two vectors x sub 1 dot 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 x sub n times y sub 1 dot 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 y sub n is an element of r raised to n. Real numbers. Right? Their dot product is simply the sum x sub 1 y sub 1 plus x sub 2 y sub 2 plus dot 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 x sub n y sub n.
So, thank you, Ms. Limpahan. So, since we already have discussed about that product, let me still introduce it to you, okay? So, if we are going to take the two vectors, if we have the vectors of x is equivalent to 1 and 3, and the vectors of y is equivalent to negative 3 and 1, what formula should we use? Mr. Hussain?
The formula we're going to use is that product is x sub 1 y sub 1 plus x sub 2 y sub 2 plus dot 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 x sub n y sub n.
Okay, very good, Mr. Hussain. For that, I will give you 5 points. So, we are going to utilize this formula. It depends on how many components do we have in our vector. So if we have 3 vectors, if we have 3 components in our vectors, then therefore we are going to utilize until x sub 3 times y sub 3. How about if we are going to have 4 components in our vector? Until what formula should we use?
X sub 4 and y sub 4.
X sub 4 times y sub 4. That is very good. So since we only have 2 components, Ms. Atulong, what formula should we use?
Their dot product is simply the sum x sub 1 plus y sub 1 plus x sub 2 plus y sub 2.
X sub 2 plus y sub 2 or x sub 2 times y sub 2?
X sub 2 times y sub 2.
Can you please read it again?
X sub 1, y sub 1 plus x sub 2, y sub 2.
Okay, that is very good. Since we only have 2 components, therefore we are just going to use until x sub 2 times y sub 2. So now let's utilize the formula of our dot product. So we have x sub 1 times
Y sub 1
plus
x sub 2 y sub 2
Times y sub 2.
what is the value of our x sub 1?
1
How about the value of our y sub 1?
negative 3
The value of our x sub 2?
3
3,
The value of our y sub 2?
1
1. What is the next step?
multiply
So we have 1 times negative 3
negative 3
plus
3
3 times 1.
3
So what is the answer?
0
0. So that is a definition of that product. Do you understand?
Yes.
Sir.
So what if we have the vectors of 5 and 2 and vectors of 2 and 3? What is their dot product? Miss Limpahan, can you please answer the problem? Can you please explain it to us?
So the value of our x sub 1 is equals to 5, and the value of our y sub 1 is 2, plus the value of our x sub 2 is 2, and the value of our y sub 2 is 3. Then next step is we need to multiply 5 times 3 is equals to 10, 2 times 3 is equals to 6, then add the 2, then we have 16.
Okay, thank you so much. That's correct. Let's give her a round of applause. Because of that, we will be having a 5 points. Very good, Ms. Limpahan. So that is the definition of that product. So here is a reminder. If you are going to see a symbol of this one, then therefore you are going to what? To utilize this formula because it is what? What do you think? Because this is a representation of that product. Okay? So if we are going to see this result, let's take it 2, and 3. So you will conclude that this is a dot product. So you'll be using this formula. Is it understood? Next is we have the next slide. Mr. Rosa, can you please read?
Definition. Take two vectors x sub 1 dot 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 x sub n and y sub 1 dot 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 y sub n is an element of R sub n. Their dot product is the product of the length or magnitude of x vector times the length of magnitude of y vector cos theta, where theta is the angle between x vector and y vector, and the length or magnitude of x vector denotes the length of the vector x vector. Example, a distance from x sub 1 dot 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 x sub n to 0 dot 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 0.
So the formula that we have earlier is just the same as this. So why do you think? It is because if we are going to take the dot product of x vector and y vector, their formula, their corresponding equivalent is this one. So we have the length or the magnitude of x bar or x vector times the length or the magnitude of y vector and the length of the magnitude of the cosine of theta. So that is the formula if we are going to take the two vectors. So the next slide, can you please read, Ms. Akuru?
These two definitions are equivalent. Pure and let x vector equals to x sub 1, x sub 2, and x sub 3. Then y vectors equals to y sub 1, y sub 2, and y sub 3 be a pair of vectors in real number 3.
In R3.
R3, then the algebraic expression, interpretation of vector of x times vector of y given by x sub 1, y sub 1 plus x sub 2, y sub 2 plus dot 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 x sub n, y sub n is equal to the geometric interpretation length and the length of magnitude of x vector times the length of magnitude of y vector cos theta, where theta is the angle between vector x vector and y vector is 0.
Okay, thank you so much for that. So this is the formula that we will be utilizing. So you really need to be familiarized with this formula because we will be using this in our topic. So Miss Lipan, can you please read about orthogonality?
Two vectors, vector v, vector w are called orthogonal if their dot product is 0. Geometrically, we can interpret this as saying that two vectors are orthogonal whenever the angle theta between them is such that cos theta is equal to 0. Example, that is two vectors meet at their 90 degree or 270 degree, like positive negative pi over 2 in radians or angle.
So let's take a look about this formula first. So meaning to say that if we are going to have a dot product which is equivalent to 0, therefore it is a notion or it is the concept of orthogonality. So what do you think is our angle? What is the condition that our dot product will be 0? What do you think is our angle? Okay, Mr. Rosain.
90 or 270 degree.
90 degree or 270 degree. Very good. So why 90 degree or 270 degree? So let's copy this formula first. So we have the vector of x and the vector of y is equivalent to the length or the magnitude of x vector times the length or the magnitude of y vector. So let's use the value of 90 degree. What do you think is the answer of the cos 90 degree?
0.
0. So let's just copy. Since the value of our cos 90 degree is equivalent to 0, let's copy the 0. Okay, Ms. Limpan, what is the next step?
So the next step is we need to multiply the magnitude or the length of the x vector and y vector to the 0. Then it will become 0.
Okay, thank you so much. So we will just copy this. So 0 times the length or the magnitude of x vector and the length of the magnitude of y vector is equivalent to 0. So that is the notion or the concept about orthogonality. When we are going to have an angle of 0, if we are going to have an angle of 90 degrees and 270 degrees, which is equivalent to 0, therefore, our dot product is equivalent to 0. Is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. So whether it is 90 degree or 270 degree, if you are going to have an angle of these two, therefore the dot product is equivalent to 0. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Miss Sakura, what is the degree again? If we are having an orthogonality?
The degree, if we have orthogonality is 90 degree or 270 degree.
Okay, very good. Very good, Sakura. For that, you will be having a 5 points. Let's give her a round of applause. Okay. Let's consider this example that we had earlier. What is the answer of this? Okay. Let's go into to solve it once again. So, what if we have, let's consider this as a vector of x and a vector of y. So, we have the vector of 1 and 3, and the vector of 3 and negative 1. So, if we are going to utilize the formula, which is x vector times y vector, what is the formula?
The length of magnitude of x vector.
No.
X sub 1,
X sub 1,
y sub 1, plus x sub 2, y sub 2.
y sub 2. So, we have x sub 1,
1, 3, plus 3 times negative 1.
what is the answer? Direct answer?
0.
0. So therefore, their dot product is 0. What it means? It is
Orthogonality.
orthogonality or perpendicular. So that is the concept of orthogonality. So, two orthogonal vectors. So note that their algebraic dot vectors is 0. So and that angle between them is pi over 2 radians or 90 degrees. So that is orthogonality. So let's consider another example. So we have the vectors of 2 and negative 3 and 3, 2. So, Miss Lipa, can you please explain this to us and how did we arrive on 0 since the solution is already given?
So we arrived to the 0 because we use the formula x sub 1 y times what x sub y sub 1 plus x sub 2 times y sub 2. So the value of our x sub 1 is 2, then the value of our y sub 1 is 3. So we only substitute from the formula to here, then we get the answer 0.
Okay, very good. So, always remember guys, always be meticulous about this. If we are having a variable of b here, therefore the formula we will be using is also b. So for the consistency only, okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So and for that, we will be having a 5 points. Thank you, Miss Limpa. Next. So, Mr. Musa, can you please read?
Two vectors are said to be parallel if and only if the angle between them is 0 degrees. Parallel vectors are also known as collinear vectors. Example, two parallel vectors will be always parallel to the same line, but they can be either in the same direction or in the exact opposite direction. Two vectors. Unit vector is equal to the vector of u sub x and u sub y, and unit vector is equal to vector v sub x, v sub y. Are parallel if the angle between them is 0 degree or 180 degree. Also, two vectors, unit vector u sub x, u sub y, and unit vector v vector is equal to v sub x, v sub y are parallel to each other if the vector unit vector is some multiple of the vector v vector, that is, they will be parallel if the vector U is equal to V for some real number C that is unit vector is some multiple of V vector.
So this is not a U, right? This is V. A. So to further understand that, let's have an example. So let's assume that that our U vector is equivalent to 2 and negative 3 and our V vector is equivalent to negative 8 and 12. So we will be using this formula. Are you familiar with this formula?
No, sir.
No. So this is the formula of our angle. So once again, we will only consider it if it is parallel if their angle is what degree?
0 and 180.
0 or 180 degree. That is parallel. If it is perpendicular,
90 or
90 or 270. So let's consider this formula. So we have the angle is equivalent to r cos times the u vector times v vector over the length or the magnitude of the u vector times the length or the magnitude of v vector. So by substituting, we have 2 times negative 8 plus 3 times negative 12. What is this? What do you think is this one? That is that product. Very good, Mr. Husain. For that, we will be having a 5 points. So, what do you think is this formula? The length or
the magnitude of vector.
Can you please read it aloud, Ms. Limbahan?
The length of the magnitude of vector u.
And how about this?
The length of the vector v.
Okay, very good. For that, we will be having a 5 points. So you will only do the substitution because the formula of this of the unit vector is equivalent to what?
Square
Okay, Miss Sakuro.
Square root of
Square root of
u x squared plus y squared.
How about the magnitude of the vector b?
The square root of u squared
Let's
x
just use
squared
x.
plus y squared.
So using this formula, we will be arriving this given here. So by doing the substitution, we have 2 times negative 8 plus negative 3 times 12. What is the answer? Negative 52. 2 squared plus 3 squared is equivalent to 13. And negative 8 squared plus 12 squared is?
280.
So by using our calculator, we come up with the angle of 180 degree. And what is that?
Parallel.
What?
Parallel.
Very good. That is parallel. So once again, if we are going to talk about perpendicular, their angle is?
90 or 270 degree.
How about parallel?
0 or 180 degree.
Very good. Miss Akula, can you please read the conclusion?
The two vectors, vector of u equals to 2, negative 3, and vector of v equals to negative 8, 12 are parallel to each other since the angle between them is 180 degrees.
Is 180 degree. Okay. Very good. Do you want another example?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. So let's assume that we have the u is equivalent to 1 and 5 and v is equivalent to 2 and 3. Okay, Mr. Rosael, can you please solve the problem and identify whether it is parallel, orthogonal, or neither? Okay, you can use the calculator. Take the pause step. You forget the pause step. Can you please explain that to us?
So for the upper part, for the numerator, we use the dot product, which is 1 times 2 plus 5 times 3. So 1 times 2 came from here, 1, and then 5 is from here, and x sub 1, y sub 1 plus x sub 2 times y sub 2 over the length of the magnitude of unit u vector times the letter magnitude of v vector with the formula of square root of x raised to 2 plus y raised to 2 times, and then the formula for the letter magnitude of v vector is x squared plus y squared, square root of x squared plus y squared. So now it's substitute. So 1 times 2 is 2, 5 times 3 15 over, so 1, simplify pala. So 1 squared is equal to 1, then 5 squared is equal to 25, then 2 squared is 4, then 3 times 3 is 9. So 2 plus 15 is 17. So 1 plus 25 is 26. Square root of 26 is square root of 26. Then 4 plus 9 is square root of 4 plus 9 is square root of 13. So the answer for this one is 0.925, or the arc cos of 0.925 is equal to 22.38 degrees.
Do you have the same answer?
Yes, sir.
So what can you conclude?
They are parallel.
Therefore, I conclude it is neither because it is not perpendicular nor parallel.
Very good. It is not perpendicular, and it is also not parallel because their degree or their angle is equivalent to 22.38 degrees. So it does not suffice to the condition of the parallel and the perpendicular. Okay. So, Ms. Natulong, once again, what if the vectors or the angle is not 90 degree, if it is not 0 degree, 270 degree, or 180 degree, what can you conclude?
I can conclude that it is neither because it is not satisfied between the two, parallel and perpendicular.
Very good. So now, do you understand what is the difference between the three? The
Yes.
parallel, orthogonal, and perpendicular?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. And because of that, let's proceed to our next topic. To our what? To our main topic. Now, we will be proceeding to an orthonormal basis definition, which is our topic. So, Ms. Limpan, can you please read?
Let B an inner product space. 1. Two vectors u and v in V are said to be orthogonal if u and v
With that product,
that product u and v is equal to 0. 2. A set of non-zero vectors V sub 1, V sub 2, V sub k, and V is called in an orthogonal set of vectors if that product V sub I, V sub j is equal to 0 whenever I is not equal to j, that is, every vector is orthogonal to every other vector and set. 3. A vector V and V is called a unit vector if the length of V is equal to 1. 4. An orthogonal set of unit vectors is called an orthonormal set of vectors. Thus, the dot product of V sub 1, V sub 2, V sub k in V is orthonormal set if and only if the dot product of V sub I, V sub j is equal to 0 whenever I is not equal to j. That product of V sub I, V sub j is equals to 1 for all I is equals to 1 to k.
So okay, thank you, Ms. Timpahan. You know, take your seat. So now, there are two conditions if we are going to satisfy orthonormality. First, if their dot product is 0. That means, Mr. Rosain, it is
orthogonal.
orthogonal. Very good. If the vectors are orthogonal, it means that it satisfies one condition of orthonormal. And if the length of the vector is equivalent to 1. So there are two conditions. First, if it is orthogonal, and the second one, if the length of the vector is equivalent to 1. That is orthonormal. So what if it is only orthogonal? It is considered as orthonormal?
Yes.
If it is only orthogonal?
No.
No.
So now I have a question for you. Do you think that if the dot product is 0 and the length is not 1, do you think it is orthonormal or not?
No.
Yeah.
Raise your hand if it is yes. How about no? Okay. The answer is no, because there is a no condition, right? If their dot product is 0 and if their length is 1, that is orthonormal. If it is not 1, therefore, it is not orthonormal. It is only orthogonal. Understood? Okay, very good. Now let's proceed to the next slide. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Miss Christine, can you please read the remarks?
Remarks. The condition is 4A and 4B can be written compactly in terms of the Kronecker delta symbol as VI, VJ equals to
Kronecker.
Kronecker of IJ equals to 1 to ... k. Note that the inner product occurring in definition 4.12 4.12.1 will depend upon which inner product space we are working in. 3. If V is any non-zero vector, then 1 over the length of magnitude of V. V is a unit vector since the properties of an inner product imply that 1 over the length of magnitude of V, 1 over the length of magnitude of V equals to 1 over the length of magnitude of V squared, V equals to V over the length of magnitude of squared, the length of magnitude of squared equals to 1. Using the remark 3 above, we can take an orthogonal set of vectors V sub 1, V sub 2, V sub k, and create a new set U sub 1, U sub 2, U sub k, where U sub I equals to 1 over the length of magnitude of V sub 1. V sub 1 is a unit vector of each I. Using the properties of an inner product, it is easy to see that the new set U sub 1, U sub 2, U sub k is an orthonormal set. See problem 31. The process of replacing VI by the VI is called normalization.
The process of replacing V sub I by the U sub I is called normalization. Okay. So now, are you familiar with this formula? What is that?
Unit
Unit
vector.
vector.
Unit vector when the length is equivalent to
1.
1. Very good. So, if we are going to take the unit vector of every vector, this is the formula. So, we have 1 over the length of the magnitude of V, and 1 the length of the magnitude of V and V. So, it is equivalent to, why do you think we have this square root here?
Combine
Combining the
V and V.
the length of the magnitude of V, so this is square root. So, how about here? It is also combination also. So next is we have 1 over the square root of this, or the length of the magnitude of this squared times the length of the magnitude of this squared, which we get here. So it is also a combination of V and V, which is equivalent to 1. So that is the unit vector. So now, let's proceed to the next slide. I want you to verify that negative 2, 1, 3, 0, 0, negative 3, 1, negative 6, negative 2, negative 4, 0, and 2 is an orthogonal set of vectors in R4, and use it to construct an orthonormal set of vectors in R4. So you need to what? To verify first if it is orthogonal. And once if it is orthogonal, then therefore you need to use the unit vector with the length of 1. So go. I will give you 3 minutes to answer the question. Go. Use the orthogonal. That product of the formula dot product. Itong x, y, x, y sub y, y sub 1, and y sub 1. Since it is 4 components, you need to write it in x sub into x sub 4, y sub 4. So, very good. X sub t. Okay, 2 minutes left. You are in the right direction. Did you follow? Yeah, substitute. So we're going to use this first, these two, and after that, this two. One minute left. So let's extend it. So you still have 3 minutes. squared, 1 squared, 2 squared. Yes. We only have 1 minute. Okay, time's up. Okay. Who has the answer? Raise your hand. Okay, only Hussein. Okay, Mr. Hussein, can you please go to the board and write your solution? Okay. Can you please explain your answer, your solution?
So first thing I do is to find first the orthogonal. It's an orthogonal, if it is an orthogonal. So to find if it's an orthogonal, we can use the dot product. So the first one, we will use dot product of this set and this one. So 2 times 0, So the formula for this one is x sub 1 times y sub 1 plus x sub 2 times y sub 2 plus x sub 3 times y sub 3 plus x sub 4 times y sub 4. So now we're going to substitute. So the value of x sub 1 is negative 2, negative 2, and the value of y sub 1 is 0, and so on and so forth. So negative 2 times 0 is 0, 1 times negative 3 is negative 3, 3 times 1 is 3, and 0 times negative 6 is 0. So 0 plus negative 3 plus 3 plus 0 is equal to 0. And then for this one, going use the dot product for this one, and kanina is this one, and now this one and this one. So we're going to substitute each value of the x sub 1 and y sub 1. So the value of x sub 1 is negative 2, and the value of y sub 1 is negative 2. So and so on and so forth. So negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. 1 times negative 4 is 4, and negative 4 rather. 2 times 0 is 0, and 0 times 2 is 0. So 4 minus 4 is 0, plus 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. 0 plus 0 is equal to 0, meaning it is an orthogonal. So now we'll proceed to the constructing of an orthogonal set of vectors. So we have a formula of 1 over the letter or magnitude of v times v. So the set of v rather. So first, the first thing to do is we need to solve first the denominator, which is the length or the magnitude of v. So we have the formula of square root of x squared plus y squared plus z squared plus w squared. So we have here the negative 2 squared plus 1 squared plus 3 squared plus 0. So negative 2 squared is equal to 4, plus 1 squared is 1, and 3 squared plus is 9. So 0 squared is 0. So 4 plus 1 plus 9 is equal to 14. So the same here. So 0 squared plus negative 3 squared plus 1 squared plus negative 6 squared, we come up with the answer of square root of 46. And last is square root of negative 2 squared plus negative 4 squared plus 0 squared plus 2 squared, we came up with the answer of square root of 24. So now we're going to use the formula of the unit vector. So 1 over square root of 14 times the set of negative 2, 1, 3, and 0, and for here, 1 over 40, square root of 46 is set times the set of 0, negative 3, 1, and negative 6, and last is 1 over square root of 24 times the set of negative 2, negative 4, 0, and 2.
Okay. Very good, Mr. Hussain. A round of applause for him. That is indeed correct. So you will be having 5 points. However, there is one combination that Mr. Hussain did not do. What is that? Because you only combine this one, and this one, and this one, and this one, right?
Yeah.
But you did not combine this one and this one.
Yeah.
I mean, this one and this one.
Yeah.
Right. So you will not anymore add it to 0. As long as they are 0, that is already orthogonal. So that is the solution. So still, Mr. Hussain is indeed correct. So do you have any questions?
I already know how to the process, so I'm indeed correct. Correct.
Okay, so you already don't have any question.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that is correct. So let's verify if it is correct. So yes, V1 and V2 are that product is 0, V1 and V2 is 0, V1 and V2 is 0. So this is the unit vector. So we have 1 over 14, which is correct. We have 1 over 46, which is correct, and we have 1 over 24, or 1 over 2 square root of 6 is still the same. Okay? So that is the answer. So if you are going to write this one, negative 2, 1, or you really need to copy the vector, it is okay. And if you are going just to write the v sub 1, it's still the same. Okay? So is that understood?
Yes, sir.
Any questions? Okay. Since there is no question, let's proceed to the next topic. But before that, let me first ask you if you really understood. So once again, what are the two conditions? If a vector is orthonormal? Miss Sakurum?
There are two conditions that needs to satisfy. One is the dot product is 0. Am I correct? Then second is the dot of the vector is 1.
Okay, very good. That is indeed correct. So now let's proceed to the next topic, which is the Gram-Schmidt process. So we will be obtaining orthonormal bases, but with the process of the Gram-Schmidt. Okay, so Miss Limahan, please read.
How can we obtain an orthogonal or orthonormal basis for an inner product space V? The idea behind the process is to begin with any basis for V, say x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub n, and to successively replace these vectors with vectors v sub 1, v sub 2, v sub n that are orthogonal to one another, and to ensure that throughout the process, the span of the vectors remain unchanged. This is known as the Gram-Schmidt process. Let x sub 1, x sub 2, x sub n be a linearly independent set of vectors in an inner product space V. Then an orthogonal basis for the subspace of V spanned by this vector is V sub V1, V sub V1, V2, Vm, where
So we will be utilizing the Gram-Schmidt process if we are going to obtain an orthogonal or orthonormal basis for an inner product space V. Okay, so let me introduce first to you the formula that we are going to utilize. So we have V sub 1 is equivalent to x sub 1. Next, V2 is equivalent to x sub 2 minus the dot product of x sub 2 times V sub 1. And over the length or the magnitude of V sub 1 squared times V sub 1. Next, we have the V sub 3 is equivalent to x sub 3 minus x sub 3. Minus the dot product of x sub 3 and V sub 1 times divide by the length or the magnitude of the V sub 1 squared V sub 1 minus the dot product of x sub 3 and V sub 2 divided by the length or the magnitude of the V sub 2 squared and V sub 2, and so on and so forth. So it really depends on on how many components do you have in your vector. So if you have 5, then we will be utilizing V sub 4, V sub 5, or V sub 5. So that's it. So it is really evident here that if there is the evolution of our formula. So if we are going to take the V sub 4, you just need to analyze the formula. Okay? So that is the formula of the Gram-Schmidt process. So let's have an example. So obtain the orthogonal basis for the subspace of R sub 4 spanned by x sub 1 is equivalent to 1, 0, 1, 0, x sub 2 is equivalent to 1, 1, 1, 1, and x sub 3 is equivalent to negative 1, 2, 0, 1. So now, this is the solution. Following the Gram-Schmidt process we said, so this is, do you still remember in the previous page, in the previous slide, that this is the formula, which is V sub 1 is equivalent to x sub 1. So, and our x sub 1 is equivalent to 1, 0, 1, 0. So you just really need to copy it. So that is the first step on the Gram-Schmidt process. Next, we have V sub 2 is equivalent to x sub 2 minus the dot product of x sub 2 times V sub 1 over the length or the magnitude of V sub 1 squared and V sub 1. So first, what is the value of our x sub 2?
1, 1, 1.
1, 1, 1, 1. So just copy. Next, the dot product of x sub 2 and V sub 1. So we have an x sub 2, which is 1, 1, 1, and our V sub 1 is equivalent to x sub 1, which is 1, 0, 1, 0. So you just need to take the dot product of x sub 2 and V sub 1. So let's see if it is equivalent to 2. So we have 1, 0, 1, and 0. So that is the value of our x sub 1. What is the value of our x sub 2?
1, 1, 1, 1, 0.
1, 1, 1, and 1. Our x sub 2 is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
4.
Okay. Now, let's take the dot product of x sub 1 and x sub 2. So we have 1 times 1,
1.
1. 0 times 1,
0.
0. 1 times 1, 1. 0 times 1,
Zero.
0. So 1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0,
2.
2. So the answer is 2. Do you understand?
Yes.
Okay, next we are going to take the length or the magnitude of v sub 1 squared. Let's see if the answer is 2. So we are just going to take the length of this one. So we have x sub 1 is 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, right? So what is the formula once again of the length or the magnitude? Let's use the unit vector, right? Or the length or the magnitude. So now let's be finding the let's find okay. So now let's find the length or the magnitude of our v sub 1 or x sub 1, which is equivalent to 1, 0, 1, 0. Since our formula is v sub 1 squared is equivalent to what?
W squared
W squared
plus
x squared plus
y squared
y squared
plus z squared.
z squared. So later we will be utilizing the squared here after we solve the square root. Okay, so we have, what is the value of W?
1
1 squared plus
0 squared
plus
plus 1 squared plus 0 squared.
So we have
1 plus
1 squared.
1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0.
So we have
Square root of 2.
1 plus 0 plus 1 plus 0.
2.
Square root of 2. Since we have a square here, so we need to what? Square.
2.
We need to square this one, or the square root of 2, which give us cancellation of the square root. So we have the value of 2. So that is why we have the length or the magnitude of this one, which is 2. Understand?
Yes, sir.
So times the v sub 1, which is 1, 0, 1, 0. So now we will be what? We will be doing the operations here. So first, we will by using the PEMDAS rule, we will take, or we will distribute this in our x sub 1. So negative 2 over 2 is equivalent to 1, right? So 1 times 1.
1.
So 1, we have 1. 1 times 0.
0.
0. 1 times 1.
1.
1. 1 times 0.
0.
So 0. So minus 1, 1, 1, 1. 1, 1, 1, 1. So 1 times 1.
0.
0. 1 times 0. 1 minus 0.
1.
1. 1 minus 1.
0.
0. 1 minus 0. 1. So that is the value of our v sub 2. Understood?
Yes.
Do you have any question? None. Okay, now let's proceed to find the v sub 3. So, by following the formula, we have v sub 3 is equivalent to x sub 3 minus the dot product of x sub 3 and v sub 1 over the length or the magnitude of the v sub 1 squared times v sub 1 minus the dot product of x sub 3 minus the dot product of x sub 3 and v sub 2 over the length or the magnitude of v sub 2 squared times v sub 2. So now, the first step that we need to do is to find the value of our x sub 3. What is the value of our x sub 3?
Negative
1, 2, 0, 1.
And 1. Now, we will be taking